I will recognize myself to speak to the Republican substitute, and I will make some points of why I do prefer my substitute to her substitute, but also to indicate that I would like, between now and the floor, I do think it would be very useful to develop a bipartisan approach here, and I'm quite open to further discussions on this. The ranking member has endorsed the Obama administration's request for a funding level of $1.5 billion a year for economic assistance. I'm very happy to see that, and our bill does as well. The fact that there's agreement on this point among the White House and members of the committee from both sides of the aisle underscores the fact that providing such assistance is the right and necessary thing to do. But the proposed amendment is long on aspirations and short on details. It doesn't take the time that our bill, our substitute, our amendment in the nature of a substitute and our original bill do, to describe how U.S. assistance should be expended. It says nothing about the expenditure of military assistance. It contains no accountability provisions to ensure that the U.S. assistance is used appropriately. I believe that the U.S. relationship with Pakistan is too critical and too complex for Congress to be silent on such matters. H.R. 1886 essentially includes all of the provisions of the gentlelady's substitute, but more. It requires the President to provide a comprehensive regional security strategy, not Congress, the President, and includes extensive reporting requirements regarding progress towards disrupting terrorist networks. It authorizes the Pakistani Counterinsurgency Capabilities Fund. And H.R. 1886 includes other critical provisions, including the establishment of a Pakistan Democracy and Prosperity Fund to provide additional flexibility for economic assistance and robust monitoring and evaluation mechanisms, the issues raised by the gentlelady from Nevada just a moment ago, to help ensure that this time there is the appropriate expenditure of such assistance. And one final word about the PCCF. The provision of security assistance has been and should remain a tool of the Secretary of State to advance foreign policy objectives. In the case of Pakistan, the growing insurgency underscores the need for assistance, but it does not necessitate establishing an entirely new authority in the Department of Defense. H.R. 1886 established PCCF within the State Department to ensure that the Secretary of State remains the primary voice in the bilateral relationship with that country. But I do want to add that the whole way we've created this fund, the many differences from traditional security assistance with all the requirements and provisions of that and some of the bureaucratic hurdles that one has to overcome are dealt with and eliminated in this bill based on conversations that we've had with the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Mike Mullen, in line with the kinds of things that General Petraeus wants to do. In other words, we do not want traditional roadblocks that mean when you provide security assistance, it could be 6 months, a year, or 2 years down the road before anything is procured and before that assistance is afforded. We know this is an urgency, and we take care to make sure that all the obstacles that would prevent that immediate assistance from happening are dealt with in our bill. So I share the gentlelady's concerns and the gentlelady from Arizona's concerns, but fundamentally this is about a decision to provide security assistance. This has traditionally been, and is rightfully so, for many reasons, appropriately a Department of State function, and that is why we create the PCCF in the Department of State. I urge my colleagues to support H.R. 1886